Hi guys, it's Laura at Sheer Passion. Welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you tonight. Thanks for plugging into my videos. I know I haven't been as consistent each week. It's been a little tough. Life's a little crazy, and this isn't exactly the easiest way to get a hold of people since there's more readers in the world than there are listeners, and I totally understand that. Why would you want to listen to somebody ramble on if you don't know them, and what are they going to tell you that somebody else hasn't told you, a parent, a teacher, a pastor, or a best friend, maybe your therapist? So bear with me, but tonight I want to talk to you about smiling. And in the last couple of months and last year of my life, and the last 2 years of my life, so much has changed, and yet my smile hasn't left my face. And there's been people who have known me my whole entire life and know that I am a smiley type of person. Remember, I've told you that I was much heavier as a child, but I still smile and I was still very talkative. I've come into my own. I've realized why God has designed me and what my personality is meant to go up against and why I can do those things. And it's because I've been down, I've been overweight, I've been without a boyfriend, I've been pushed down in my industry. I've had parents who haven't known how to love me. I've had churches that like to sweep dirt under the rug. I've had people in churches treat me poorly, out of churches. It doesn't matter where it happens. Why I mention church so often is because that's our expectation, is what we're going to find inside of that building is going to represent Christ and all that God encompasses, and Jesus, his son, dying on the cross. And what we actually find there are more people putting on a facade and broken and not letting others come in. We don't really know how to do that well, and we don't know how to smile. Look, I see pastors outside of their job. I see pastors outside of their job, and you would not know that they're a pastor. Folks, when I'm outside of the salon, people know I'm a hairstylist. I'm a walking, talking advertisement for the beauty industry. Everything about my appearance makes it look like I've done something on purpose. I've done something intentionally, and I have. And it's gotten easier over the years because I've done something for so long, I became the part. And so smiling is it's not just a word. It's not a 5-letter word that everybody can do. Why is it something so small and so easy to do is not done well in our society? There are times in our life when we smile, when we have a little bit of joy, when we have a little bit of something to look forward to, but most of the time, the smile is put on as a facade. And if somebody makes eye contact for any length of time, that smile is wiped off their face because the person doesn't know where to take it from there. Let me tell you why I smile. I don't smile because I was overweight as a child and I lost weight. I don't smile because I don't have to deal with family dysfunction anymore because I closed that door. I don't smile because I'm in my career 16 years and I'm still doing what I love and I have a new dream. I don't smile because I'm married the second time. I don't smile because I have enough money in my wallet when I want to leave the house, I can buy what I relatively want. I don't smile because of my house. I don't smile because I have 3 meals a day. Because to be honest with you, all of these things that I'm mentioning in my life has been a tough journey. And even though things have been there and things have been taken away, smiling every day, every hour while you're walking through the muck of this life, I smile because I've understood where God has put me. I've understood my forgiveness in Jesus Christ. I've understood why my personality is sometimes not really felt. People don't know how to take intense honesty because there's very little of it out that front door. That's okay. Because when I have to put the heat on, I can do that and I can love those people. One of the things that I'm known for in my town is not only being very outward with my hair. You can see I change my hair a lot on the videos, which is fantastic. My industry is great. I absolutely love it. I couldn't have picked a better industry. I did not like my hair as a child, and I learned to work with it in beauty school and after, and now I have some of the fiercest hair in our town, and it's absolutely phenomenal for a hairstylist to have something like that. And I'm so appreciative of things that God has given me, but more importantly, I understand what my role is, and my role is not found on Sunday morning at 9:30. My role is found 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, with whoever I'm coming in contact with. 5.5 years ago on a Monday night, today is a Monday, I have been switching my videos. Tuesdays weren't working for me. I'm so busy on Tuesdays. I met my husband, and I was at the gym, and of course I was trying to get a date, Men are amazing. God has made men amazing. I am never going to be one of those women that tells you that, oh yeah, we're great on our own. We are. We are. Let's just remember that Eve was made second after Adam. Eve was given to Adam. Eve was given to Adam to create that union. And so you have to understand that even though I know that independent single women like myself who make an income and can take care of themselves, there is nothing like having a husband that can make the team better. And that night, I knew that I was back on the market, and I knew that I wanted to find somebody that God could give me to develop and share our love. And that night I met Joshua. I didn't know his name. I didn't get a whole lot of time with him in the gym, but I do remember finding very attractive men at the gym that evening. And of course, I tend to be perky, I tend to be bubbly, I tend to be very outspoken, I tend to be the most extroverted in the room. I looked at him, and I didn't know I was going to look at him, but I smiled at him like I smile at everybody. I smile at everybody in a gym for one reason. If you're thin and attractive in our gym, I smile at you because that's very fleeting. I've talked about this before. Women who are very attractive are afraid to not be in that box because they don't know who they are outside of their attractiveness. If you took away my short hair, if you took away my red hair, if you took all my jewels off, I don't care about that. That's not who I am. Who I am shines through those things, and I choose to put them on to mirror image the personality and fire I have on the inside of my body. I do not put this on the outside of my body so I can fake myself out on the inside. I do these things because my inside is exploding with this much color and this much brassiness. Does that make sense to you? So I don't expect these things to bring it. I put these things on because that's how I feel about myself. My smile is the same thing. I smile because it is not about me in that moment, but it is about another person that God has created. They may or may not know him. They may be or may not be attractive. They may be a male or female. I don't care what age, but I smile. And when I turned around and I met my husband is very large. You've seen him on some of the videos. My husband is a very big man. He can intimidate a lot of people. Honestly, there's very few people that can intimidate me because my personality is usually bigger than most people in the room. Physically bigger. So I will never forget the moment that we laid eyes on one another. I had smiled, and he talks about my smile being very intense. And so I did what I always do, and I knew he was new. I'm always at my gym. I know when people are new. I know when people switch their times. You get to know people's routines, and I knew that he was new. And so the moment I laid eyes on him, and I smiled and I said hello, he stood there like a deer in the headlights. He honestly didn't know what to do because I was so in his face with this smile. Hi. And he said, Laura, it's like time slows down. The first thing he fell in love with was my smile. He said, had he known that in that moment, everything that I am, I said in that moment with that smile. I let him in, and I let him know that it doesn't matter who I am and the mistakes I've made. That smile said everything. My smile tells people so much, and it also lets me know where people really are in seconds when I meet them. Do I have toxic people in this small community? We have toxic people all over this nation. So the moment that I smile at somebody who is toxic, it doesn't matter how bad they're hurting or how much evil they've signed up for. When I smile and I let the Spirit flow through that smile, my love for the Lord and my understanding and my forgiveness for myself, because really that's what it is my forgiveness for myself, where I've let myself down and where I've let him down. Those are two very important factors when it comes to self-forgiveness. I let myself down, and I realize that's because I had let him down. And when you start to understand that, and when you start to stop shaming yourself, because first of all, where people want to put themselves, especially in church, is that people will say, I let God down. It's really hard. It's really hard to start there as a human being because we haven't seen Christ. We're supposed to feel him. And where I come from is I say, wait a minute, I let Laura down. I let Laura down. How did that happen? Right. Because I had let God down. Then it starts to make an accordion, chung, 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 all the way back down to the Bible. And because God has created us to be human beings, and I've accepted every nitty-gritty aspect of being a human being, I also understand then the power of a smile. A smile will change everything about your life. There are a couple of terms out there. How about fake it till you make it? Yeah, we're going to fake it till we make it. How long are you going to have that smile on your face? How long are you going to do the things that give people this facade of your fakeness? So we're drawing in this fake it till you make it mentality. So we're going to put a smile on our face. And how long are we going to keep that smile there? Because the smile that is on my face, remember, comes from understanding I let myself down, which let God down, takes me back to my faith, and solidly allows me to see what happened when I walked away from giving God my best. And that meant giving myself the best. I'm not ashamed of sex. I'm not ashamed of debt. I'm not ashamed of swearing. I'm not ashamed of all of these things that most people find shameful. I understand why it enters in. Why do these things enter in, and why do we struggle? We live in a fallen world. We don't actually understand what God requires of us. Those things come into play, and those addictions and those temptations come into play because we're struggling as human beings in a society where we're constantly trying to understand God, but we've never tried to understand the creation. And if it's spoken about in a psychiatrist's office, or in a school, or in a health class, or in a cocktail hour with girlfriends, people don't know how to bring it back to the most important thing, ourselves, and how we put those things in front of God. And you notice how a smile can be very fleeting on someone's face. Joy, true, absolute joy that has nothing to do with making money, getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, acquiring power, acquiring sex from someone else, acquiring a friendship, or I smile at that person because I don't want them to think badly of me. There's a lot of times that smiles come on somebody's face because they're in a location where they want people to think that they're somebody that they're not. Let's say you run into me in a location where I don't know you're there. You're watching me. I don't know you're in the store. I don't know that you shop there. I didn't expect to run into you. I want you to see the same person. My smile is not put on because I'm out in public. My smile is on because it's me. That is who I am. I recognize the power of the smile has nothing to do with the hours of 9 to 5 and I'm out in a public place. I smile because I've accepted God's forgiveness for my life. And I understand that I am not worthless, that I am not useless, that I am not a whore, that I am not these things or these titles that people have put on me in my life. I'm not those things. I'm a child of God who is forgiven, and I have a past. And that past is something that I can share with you. And I have a passion to share that past because what that does is allows us to relate. I'm no different than you. I'm as brassy as they come. But I'm a human woman, which means I have feelings and I have desires and I have hormones and I have expectations of husbands. We all have expectations of what a husband looks like. My husband and I have been working on becoming one. When they talk about becoming one, and one of the things that is hard for him to do, I told him that as I walk around people and I have a smile on my face, if he does not, he tends to look very gruff. Remember, my husband is very big, so he has the ability to look gruff. And I said to him, when we become one, our love goes out into the community, pours out into the community through us now being a team. And some of the things that I've tried to explain to him that is very hard to do just because you're married to somebody that does it well. I talk often. That doesn't mean that he can talk often just because he's around it. It's not like riding a bike. Having deep, intimate conversation with complete strangers or people who think they know you is not like riding a bike. Folks, you cannot just do this because you think you use your mouth to speak other words. When it's truly about you, you must come from a place of forgiveness. You cannot pull from a facade or a fake energy source. If it's not Jesus Christ, it is fleeting. And when those things leave you, which no money, no sexual desire, no youth, no greed, no power, nothing stays in one place except for God. And so if you're not drawing your source and your forgiveness hasn't come from Christ, you will not mirror image my behavior as we go throughout the decades of our life until Christ returns. It is tough for my husband to smile all the time. It is not ingrained in him yet his true forgiveness in Christ. He sees how different my faith is, and yet I cannot give it to him. I recognize my husband is very much understanding God's forgiveness for him, but it is still a mindset. It is still a mindset to see that first thing in the morning before you get dressed, that he understands it because he's with me. He understands it because he's there, but let's say I wasn't in his life and Joshua was just walking with the Lord. Would his smile be on his face so that every single person he ran into out there could be loved and cared for because of his own forgiveness with the Lord? That's something you're going to have to ask him. I can tell you that he would struggle, but that is because I've seen every single person that claims Jesus Christ in my life struggle. And believe me, I see these people at Target on the weekends and you wouldn't know they go to church. Folks, I call churches out because that's what the non-Christians are looking for. We need to give them hope that we were never perfect, but that we went there because we understood God's forgiveness and there was fellowship in that. And don't give me this crap that, oh, you call out churches. Oh, you're so down on the churches. I'm down on the people who constantly want to claim things, and there's not a whole lot of people brassy enough to call us out. I'm not here to put us down, but I am here to empower us that smiling does not happen often, even in the people who claim Jesus, because you do not understand your self-worth in this moment. It is so much deeper than showing up to church on Sunday afternoons. It is a brain issue. And until you understand that because of dysfunction and because of lack of love and because of not having our love languages stoked, we have a brain issue in our society that cannot be talked out. We can't watch it on sitcoms. We can't watch it self-helps. We can't read these self-help books until we actually start to take the walks, to be open and honest, to share and communicate. You have to let people in. There's very few people like myself that are going to see broken, miserable, frowning people and go up to them and love them so much that I can push past that wall of misery. And it does take a lot of self-awareness to continually tell myself, Laura, that person is not personally miserable towards you. That is their state of mind. Push past that. See past the anger into the fear, into the self-worth issue where they may or may not know Jesus Christ. I will tell you that my smile is one of the things that has been able to get me through a lot of dysfunction in this town. And there isn't many people that can go through what I've gone through and still have ultimate joy. It is not my things that bring me joy. My things that I have were given to me because I'm not lazy. The Lord has blessed me there, and thank God he has, because honestly, I wouldn't want to go without. That's just a human truth. I wouldn't want to go without. But if that was my walk and that's where I've been, I'm a human. Do I have times where I don't smile? Yes, absolutely I do. My muscles get tired. But the reality is, if you notice, other things can make up for my smile. My eyes. The fact that I look clean. There's certain things about my look that can smile as well. My jewelry, my brightness, my warmth, my personality can shine through that as well. If you see me in a store, I may not always have a big cheese on my face, but you will know that my stance does not shut people out. And I'm not on my cell phone all the time. Cell phones are basically a frown. I mean, honestly, if they just had a frown on the front of them when we were holding them in front of our face, people would see the frown. I mean, how crazy is it? But our cell phones have been tearing up America now for a couple of years. I love electronics because it allows me to communicate with you, but I want you to understand something. I have people that I don't like. I have people that I really don't like. I don't like anything about them. And because I don't like the way their brain is and the way they speak and the way they interact, I don't like anything. I don't like the way they dress. I don't like their hair. I just don't like a thing because I don't like the insides. If I don't like the insides, I don't like the outsides. And I think we're all like that. I can admit who is tough to smile at. I can honestly admit that. But the reality is, let's say we get to a point in our lives where we understand what we're trying to do. And when I recognize that I can't smile at someone because my mindset and because my attitude is of smiling, I'm very cautious. I'm very cautious because that tells me the deep blackness or joy-sucking black hole that they can be. I close off because there's only so much human Laura that can deal with that. Folks, I'm not saying that I am perfect. I'm not saying that I'm going to write the book on how to smile. I'm not going to have the smile for dummies coming out. But I will tell you this. In this country, smiles are used to manipulate. And they very rarely come out. And I will tell you, Joshua has watched me for 5.5 years. It does not matter what day it is. It does not matter what the weather image is. I will smile at every single person and I will speak to them. And there are some people who will not smile back no matter how long I hold that smile and no matter how much I talk to them. And that is because this society is breeding dysfunction and disease faster than we can catch it. Because the Christians have not realized God's true and total forgiveness for themselves. And at that moment, work on the dysfunction of relationships. I understand there's not a whole lot to smile about on a day-to-day basis. Right now, people are focused on the election, and we are very quick to judge those men. We don't know a thing about what those jobs look like or entail 24 hours a day and what it does to families and children. We need to be very careful what we do and what we say, because when we get up, we are not smiling because we have understood God's total love and value for us. I want to challenge us to start paying attention to who smiles every single time you leave the house. Put a little notch right here and go, turn that on and go, I'm paying attention to who's smiling. It may or may not be you, but I will tell you, when you're out, see who looks you in the eye. Don't do this whole people held the door for me. People hold the door. I didn't say we were complete jerks or we need to be marked off that we're just completely worthless. I think we can change. Holding the door. People don't always turn around. They just hold the door as they're like walking through the door and you go, hey, thanks. And they're like, whoa, they grunt. They do the whole like grunt, like, yeah, that's the least I could do for you. Don't know you. Not going to stand here and talk to you. Not going to waste my time. I say thank you. I appreciate that. I get into conversation with these people. People don't even know what to do. Like, oh, I got to go. We all got to go. You don't think I'm busy? I'm busy. I'm busy like the next person. That doesn't mean I can't learn to talk because we're all out in the open and we're in the air. We can talk. These people heard me. Like, hey, isn't it great? The weather's nice. There's not 36 inches of snow on the ground. Good to see you. We're not all hibernating. I make it worth their time because we're communicating. And I do smile to let them in. And so what happens is my husband also talks about the fact that because I can be attractive or I'm a young woman, that when I'm smiling, I can allow people will think I'm flirting with them. No. No. Body language is intense. If I'm flirting with you, you will know it. The problem with it is that is what people tell themselves. Married women, married men, people in relationships say they can't be friendly and they can't smile because it stems into people thinking they're over friendly or sexual. Folks, then you don't know what you're doing. You're bringing your bedroom eyes outside. And shame on you for thinking that's smiling. Shame on you. Look, if you need a class on how to smile like a classy broad, then you call me. Because just because I'm attractive doesn't mean that when I smile that I'm being sexual. If you're being sexual, you're doing that with your body language. And that's another brain issue. And that's just not something I can talk you out of. I can help you. But you're going to need to take a walk and understand why your sexuality is the only thing you smile about. And when you smile, it's only your bedroom smile. We need to be aware of what we're doing. People cannot genuinely smile for any length of time, all day, every day, if it is not an inside change. You will never fake it till you make it with a smile. I know we can change this world one person at a time, and the person we have to start with is ourselves. Understand God has created you for a reason. You are valuable to Him and valuable to people in this community, and you're going to change the world with me. One smile at a time when you realize the inside change that needs to happen. Good luck. It's tough. You can get there. Your jaw's going to hurt. It's just like chewing gum for the first time. I'll talk to you soon. Let's be better together. It's Laura at Sheer Passion, SheerPassion. Also, check out my blog, Sheer Passion to Blog at blogspot.com, SheerPassion, the number 2, blog, BLOG, at blogspot.com. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great week.